you are a high achiever, it's important for you to recognize the value of self-care as a practice. And let me emphasize, it's a practice. It's not just something to turn to when you feel burnt out or exhausted, because that's what happens oftentimes, right? You're like, oh, I'm done. I'm so exhausted. I need to get some self-care. What I'm advocating for is for you to make this a practice. And if it's a practice for you, if it's a daily ongoing value that you have for yourself, you won't get to this point of being exhausted and always burnt out and working from an empty cup. Okay. But there's some challenges that, some shifts that we have to have inside about making it a priority, making self-care, making loving yourself a priority. And I want to address those things because I want you to understand how important this is for you, sis. It's so important. So, do you think that it's selfish? Do you think it's selfish? Because that's something that we often think, that's something that we've been trained to believe, right? It's selfish. And many of you, as a high achieving woman, you might feel guilty about taking time for yourself, right? You might believe that it's selfish to prioritize your needs over someone else's. And what happens when you do that, when you neglect yourself, you lessen your well-being. I had a client. She had a special needs child. She also had another daughter who was very bright, and she had a husband who had lots of ambitions and dreams. And what she did, the good woman that she is, she invested in the kids. She invested in her husband. She was going hard for all of them and neglecting herself, neglecting her dreams, what she wanted, what was important to her. And you know what ended up happening? You know what happened? She started to get a little bitter. She started to get a little resentful. Started to feel like, hey, hello, what about me? Like Effie said, what about what I want? What about what I need? What about what's best for me? What about me? How many of y'all singing that Effie song? You must love yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's okay. It's okay to put yourself first, to prioritize your needs above others. And guess what? The people that you're caring for, when you start to make this shift, they're gonna my one of my mentors used to say, when you put the fence up, they're gonna kick against the fence. They're gonna kick against the fence, but keep that fence up, establish those boundaries, and prioritize your needs. Okay? Here's another thing. Oftentimes, you may think that it's a waste of time. A lot of high achieving women feel like self-care activities are a waste of time, and because you feel like you could be using your time in a more productive way. Right? So when I tell my clients just to do nothing, they're like, what? Do nothing? I can't do nothing. I gotta do something. I can't spend 10 minutes just looking at the sky and doing nothing, and examining a flower and doing nothing. That's just like mind blowing. I can't do that. I've got to be doing something every single minute. I've got to multitask. I got to be productive. But you know what happens? That type of mindset will ultimately lead to burnout. And you want to be productive, but it will decrease your productivity over time. So that mindset of, right now it's about building, building. Got to build my empire. I value my wealth over my health. That's what someone told me once. I value my wealth over my health. Sis. You won't be able to enjoy it if you're not healthy. have to take care of you. Okay? Love yourself enough to take care of you. Here's another one. It's a luxury. It's a luxury, right? Um, it's a luxury that I can't afford right now, as far as time. Once again, the time. This is the time. And when you do that, you neglect your care and you start to see a decline in your overall well-being. I had a client who came to me. She came to me to work with me. Now she had been following me for a while, and she kept saying, I don't have time. I don't have that time. This is a luxury. This is not something that I would invest in, right? And then she went on a vacation, had a beautiful, lovely vacation, created memories. I'm here for it. I'm here for all the vacations. But guess what happened? She came back and she realized that she still was functioning under the same operating system in here. And so, even though she was able to get away and enjoy herself and create wonderful memories, she had the same mind operating system. So, the self criticism, it didn't go away. She might have had a little break when she enjoyed herself on a vacation, but ultimately, it does not satisfy. You're still going to be looking for something. So, the perfectionism, the self criticism, right? That drive to push yourself from this place of this hard taskmaster that only brings on more stress and anxiety, that didn't go away because she had not developed a practice of learning how to love herself and being able to show herself self-compassion. That comes from a practice of love. So it's not a luxury. It is an ongoing practice that you need, sis, that you need. Um, Here's another one. I'll give you two more. Then I got to go. It's not necessary. It's not necessary for you because you can push through. Push through, sis. I am woman. Hear me roar, right? I can push through. I can push through the stress. I can push through the exhaustion without any negative consequences. Um, I'm trying to think of something. It's a lie. It's just not true. And when you have that mindset, guess what it leads to? Crash and burn, burnout, and other mental health challenges. I had one of my clients, and she said that she would go on vacation because she drove herself so much, and she scheduled regular vacations, but she drove herself so much when she got on vacation. She had to sleep for 3 days before she could enjoy the vacation. Listen, oh, no, 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 no. You can develop some regular practices. Make this a part of your everyday operating system so that you can go on vacation and enjoy the whole vacation. Okay? And then finally, the last one I'm going to say is it's weak. A lot of high achieving women may view self care as a sign of weakness, right? You might believe that, you should be able to handle everything on your own without needing to take care of yourself. And again, that will lead to a decline in your overall well-being. Listen, you ain't got to wear no badge of honor. You ain't got to be a martyr. Okay? This is something, this is your birthright. This is the gift to yourself because you value the beautiful, unique, wonderfully made human being that you are. So when you show that love to yourself, you are validating your existence matters. So this should be viewed as something that you cultivate, something that enhances your overall well-being, that expands your ability, expands your capacity to achieve even more. Instead of seeing this as a cure for overwhelm, and yes, we all get to that place where we're like, okay, wait, I need to push the brakes here. But I'm talking about even before you get to that point, we're all human. So we do get to we do have those times. But build it in as a regular practice and embrace it as something that is fun and enjoyable that can support you in reaching your goals.